Hey everyone, it's Allie, and it's time to talk about the Day 4 update for Poison Concoction Pathfinder. We have some really important news to talk about today in regards to Betrayal's thing. We have a new friend to add to our Mercenary family, and then we're going to discuss my gear upgrades and what I've been doing over the past 2 days in terms of making money. First, let's go over Betrayal's thing because this is extremely important. It has been found out recently that Betrayal's thing straight up doesn't work. While the poison application portion of it does work, the poisons it applies just don't do damage. GG has confirmed that this is a bug, and I really love that GG did not bother QAing this to make sure it actually worked, and I'm sorry if you end up spending quite a bit of money on a really nice one. I'd recommend to hold on to your Betrayal stings, just in case this gets fixed soon. We don't know what soon means. It could be in a few hours, a day, a week, or in 327 for all we know. And until then, what I'd recommend for you to do is to either use a Death Rush or a Circle Nostalgia, which there will be links for both in the description below. I've been personally using Death Rush as the adrenaline feels really comfortable for mapping. It's a lot of extra clear speed, damage, and survivability, while Circle of Nostalgia is okay to use if you prefer something for raw single target damage where you can't constantly trigger Death Rush, which I don't really think is going to be that often, so I'd probably recommend you also get yourself a Death Rush as well. To move on from the sad news into some happy news, let's discuss our new Mercenary friend that is most likely going to be replacing the Striker as our endgame Mercenary. While the Striker is amazing, and it gives you quite a lot of extra defenses, once you get yourself all the way to Svalin, pretty much everything a Striker does kind of becomes irrelevant because either our new friend is going to do it better than the Striker can, or Svalin kind of just takes care of it for you. Now, you can grab our new friend earlier than Svalin if you want to. This is intended as a post-Svalin upgrade, but it's completely okay to get it earlier on if you want a lot of extra single target damage. You just have to remember that you're going to be losing a little bit of EHP. So who exactly is our new friend? Well, let me introduce you to the Toxicologist, which is just a disgusting mercenary. The main kicker here is that the Toxicologist can roll 2 auras on it, giving us a free level 20 Malevolence and Grace without us having to equip them ourselves. Basically, with this, we can do quite a lot of shenanigans when it comes to moving auras around, and while, yeah, it does suck losing a determination from the Striker, well, have 2 free auras now, you might as well just run the determination yourself, meaning that the only things you're going to really be missing from the Striker are the endurance charges, which Svalin is going to take care of anyways, and the decoy totem, which again, with Svalin, you'd be more than tanky enough to not really care. The Toxicologist also has some really interesting synergy that we could do with it that's going to make it very strong with Chill Tech. What we're doing is giving it a Ice Bank Orbit, which makes all of its poisons also apply 10% chill. Most Toxicologists come with Chaotic Shot, which has greater chance to poison on it, which gives a 50% chance to poison, along with a 25% chance from Ice Fang Orbit itself, meaning enemies are basically always poisoned, so they're always chilled. With this, we're going to be getting ourselves a pair of boots with 40% increased effect of non-damaging elements, along with the same roll on an amulet, and an Algo Mortis for another 20%, giving us 100% increased effect total, raising the 10% from Ice Fang to 20%. A 20% chill is already pretty darn strong on its own as a defensive layer, but then gets made even better through Call of the Void, which takes half of that and makes the enemy do that much less damage, so in our case 10% less damage, and Ahunda's Bite, which then takes the chill effect and gives you that much more damage, so we get 20% more damage on top of it. With that, you're going to get your Malevolence for free damage, you're going to get the chill from Ahunda's as free damage, you're going to get the chill as a defensive layer, and we still get to bundle in a Calm's Binding for extra defenses. For a bow, I end up giving a Death's Harp just because it's a cheap bow with +2 arrows, which gives it a little bit more spread on chaotic shots, so more enemies are chilled, so it overall just becomes even stronger. And then to supplement this, we also added in a Hunter Helmet with enemies have -9 to Chaos Res, and we anointed our amulet with Serpentine Spellslinger because yes, they can benefit from annoyance, and this is even more damage. You might be asking yourself, what exactly are we going to do with those 2 free aura slots? Well, it's completely up to you what you want to give to your specters and what you want to run for yourself. Personally, I chose to pick up a determination and a haste, and I'm running the haste myself, so I have permanent uptime on it, and I gave my specters a determination because I'm okay with the uptime on it being a little bit lower as I'm more than tanky enough. You can do it the other way around if you want to. It's completely up to you. The only other thing I want to mention here is that while the Toxicologist isn't as tanky as a Striker, and it's not literally immortal to everything, it's basically strong enough to tank everything the same way the Striker can, with the only exception being some tier 17 maps. I've started doing a little bit of T17 farming, and I saw that my Toxicologist was starting to die in it, and this would simply be fixed by replacing a chestplate with a doppelganger guise, which will basically make it so it always stays at full health. I do also want to mention you kind of want to pay attention to the Toxicologist resistances. Mine is at 49, 75, 34. It's fine, but you might want to potentially consider getting yourself res cap through the helmet, amulet, and boots they're going to be giving it. Again, just to reiterate, you can grab this earlier if you want to. You do not need to wait until Zvolin, and I would highly recommend to start looking for Toxicologists as soon as you can, and just make sure they have at least Malevolence and Grace on them, otherwise they're kind of useless. The path ability is finally going to be updated with Mercenaries in it as well, so if you'd like a little bit more information on this, and some information on how to gear out your Striker even further, you can find all that in the notes section. Lastly, let's discuss my gear upgrades from day 3 and day 4, and what I've been doing for currency. In terms of currency, I've been doing nothing but essence farming, which we're going to have a guide out on soon if you'd like to do it as well. It's been about 5 to 6 divines an hour, which has been more than enough for me to get pretty much everything I've been wanting to, and my progression has been pretty extremely accelerated. Up until this point, I was doing the harvest farming that I had the Atlas tree on, and it was a really good way to get me all the way up until my current gear point. You should also be able to do the essence stuff really easily with your current setup, so don't worry too much about it and enjoy farming it. Or if you found some other content creators farming strategy and want to do that, have fun with it, as we can pretty much do almost anything. In terms of my day 3 upgrades, I didn't really change much, so it's why there was no day 3 update, as we didn't also really have anything else to talk about. I went and got myself a Watcher's Eye with Grace, Evade, and Determination block. You don't have to find 2 stats on here, and if you want to know more about this, please check out the Watcher's Eye section in the Path of Building, as we have links for all of them there, and we discuss the different combinations you can look for. And for me, I just chose to get a defensive one, as I wanted to be a little bit tankier, and I had more than enough damage. The only other change I made in day 3 was to grab myself a rare jewel from the jewel link in the bottom of the early game section, and this was just about a 5-6% DPS increase. What I ended up doing for the rest of day 3 was simply pooling all my money together and saving for Zvolin. Now, the mid-game section of the Path to Building is in chronological order in terms of what you should upgrade and when. I heavily recommend you follow along with it and grab yourself a Tides of Time as the first upgrade, but knowing that Zvolin is just going to spike in price, I decided just hardcore save for it, just so I didn't really have to think about it and just lock in the shield, as this is a insane defensive upgrade for the build. In terms of the Tides of Time, I went and just got myself a 2 utility one, and I heavily recommend for you to go read the Tides of Time section, as there's a lot of important information there about all the rules and what they mean for your build. And tomorrow I'm going to go about upgrading my flasks to the proper Tides of Time flasks. From there, I also got myself an Eternal Struggle. Unfortunately, this one is not Exarch dominance, so we don't get the 15% coal. That means I did lose a little bit of damage in comparison to Fury Valve. If you do get yourself a Exarch dominant one, this is literally just as good as Fury Valve, but I really needed this for the strength and intelligence to allow me to put on my Zvolin and to fix the intelligence loss from Fury Valve. The only other thing I really changed was grabbing myself a new pair of boots with suppression on them, but tomorrow I'm going to be going about crafting the suppression boots that are mentioned in the crafting guide, which are then going to allow me to also add in a Ancestral Vision and get myself ailment immunity without needing Purity of Elements, allow me to completely drop the aura for my build for Petrified Blood and Flesh and Stone, which is going to make me significantly tankier. I'm also going to go and craft myself the Reservation Helmet, and with that, I will have all the pieces needed to properly use Zvolin. I've been using Zvolin as it is, and I just simply swapped over my passive tree to the Zvolin swap one, as even if you don't have the proper Zvolin setup, this is still an insane EHP increase, and I felt like an absolute rock. But once I do get myself Petrified Blood, Flesh and Stone, Tempest Shield, and whatnot, oh boy, is this shield going to be even more broken than it already was. So day 5 for me is just going to be a cleanup job of getting all the other mid-game upgrades I completely skipped over. But again, for you, and especially if you're a new player, I really do recommend you just follow along in the order mentioned. In terms of farming strategies, I did essence farming for all of day 4 as well, and I had a really good time with it. And for day 5, I am probably looking to potentially move on to a tier 17 farming strategy, or to find some other fun stuff. I have some really cool strategies that I'm planning to do over the next few days, so it'll be fun to see what sticks and what is worthwhile to make a farming video on for you guys to be able to follow along as well. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to help you as soon as I can. I also stream on Twitch every single day, so feel free to come by Twitch and ask me of your questions there. Or if you just simply want to come by and be a part of our community and hang out with the other kitties, I'd be more than happy to see you either there or in our Discord. With all that said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video.